Hey watch lovers, Brad from Brent Miller, and I'm back with you today with the old Navitimer and the brand new Navitimer. So someone asked me if I could compare these two. It was not as easy as I would have liked. We do not have any of the older style Navitimers in stock. We haven't had any in a little while because of the new release. I'm sure they were holding them a little bit. So only have the new ones in stock now, and this is the one I just put up yesterday, I guess, that filmed last week when we got it in. And really just wanted to be able to put these side by side and just discuss and just kind of go over the noticeable differences. So both of these are the 43 millimeter models. Real quick, size, very, very similar, but we'll go over them. So on my left, the older model, 42.7 is what I measured straight across the bezel. All right, so straight across the bezel. I tried to go on the outer part of the the widest part I could of that bezel, so 42.7. And then I also measured it right above the crown, straight across, and I did get inside the grooves on that for the smallest kind of dimension there at 41.9. On the new one, I did 42.8, so again, I mean, essentially the same straight across, and then 42.4 inside the groove, so a little bit larger there, going above the crown across it, but again, I mean, basically, for all intents and purposes, the same exact dimensions. Where we do have a big difference, or a more noticeable difference, is the case thickness. The older one measured at 14.2, and I just measured this again at 13.7. I think the other day I did 13.8. Today I had a 13.7. So use that user error, but 13.7 today. So we have about a half millimeter thinner, which I do appreciate. Both of them measured exactly the same at 48.8 from lug tip to lug tip. One of the things you'll notice here is you obviously have a difference on the case brushing. So polished on the older and brushed on the newer, just one of the minor differences that we will go over after these dimensions. And then we have a 22 millimeter lug width on both. However, on the newer one, it tapers down. I actually measured this twice to make sure, 17.5 versus, let me turn this around, versus 20. So we do have more of a taper on the newer strap, which again, I do appreciate. May not be for everybody, but I do like the taper. So if I didn't mention, this watch here is a coworker, David, and another watch enthusiast we have here on staff. So he was kind enough to take it off and let me compare it to this new one for this video. So with that said, let's start going over the differences that I noticed, and if I miss any, I'm sure I will miss something. Please, let me know in the comments. But first and foremost, to me, it's the subdials. That's the most noticeable to my eye outside the logo, and we'll get to that here. But the subdials are definitely appear larger. They're also a little bit deeper to my eye, and we have the concentric circles, which I do love off the chronomats. So again, the subdial hands are also, I don't know what texture, but they're actually darker up here, black here. So when I compare this to the older model, again, smaller, more flat, not as deep, and looks like rhodium plated compared to the black. So side by side, if you're asking me, I do prefer the newer one. I prefer the newer subdials. I prefer the hands. I prefer the more noticeable concentric circles. I can't even tell. Doesn't look like they're even present on this older model. So I do like the newer model subdials. From there, looking at the date windows, the date window moving from the 4:30 position to the 6 o'clock. I like a 6 o'clock date window. I do like the 4:30 here, that it's the date wheels color match the dial. I think it fits in there nice. So really, I think you could go either way. I don't have a strong preference either way on that. Looking at the logo, I know some folks love your B wings. I do like this more than just the B on the AOPA logo. The text is also different. You have 4 lines of text there versus just your Breitling 1884. You do have the word Navitimer kind of hidden down here, which I don't mind. I think it kind of lends to being a little bit more balanced, but again, it's really personal preference. Someone did ask if the AOPA logo here is gold. I do not know that. I have a Breitling training coming up. I will try to find out for you to find out if that is gold or not. But just to give you a close-up. Another noticeable difference is we have loom, very small, but the 3 and the 9 position, we actually have a broken indice or a cutoff indice with loom. So I will dim the lights here to see how well that shows up. However, on the old model, we don't have any markers cut off there at the 3 and 9. So again, just another very small difference, but something I picked up. Somebody in the comment section yesterday noticed the tipped hand on the chrono. I did not see that until, so I don't know if I would have caught that or not, but I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Here you have the arrow on the chrono hand. Here you just have a straight chrono hand. Oh, we already talked about the strap taper. I believe this bezel is also smoother to the touch. This one here just feels a little bit more, I won't even say smoother. It's just it's more subtle. This bezel to me, the end of it just doesn't come to kind of like a point as much. Again, we're nitpicking here, but I did notice that as a difference. And then the crown and the pushers themselves. The crown on the new one to me has more of like an onion shape. To me, I think it's a little bit thicker than the old one. I guess I'll make sure we're giving you the same view. I personally like the newer crown. Not that there's anything wrong with the older one. I just feel like the newer one has a little bit more to it, a little bit more texture. As well as you look, the pushers on the new one, the pushers themselves around the sides are brushed, whereas the top are polished. The old one, they're polished everywhere. So again, just another small difference. And then when you get to the movement, I think we referenced this or I mentioned it, obviously the older movement, B01, just looking at the rotor, still the sticker on this, but you can see we have a skeletonized type of rotor, if I can move it. So aesthetically, I just think the movement itself looks nicer. Same functionality. So again, those were the differences that I saw. Please, if I missed something, feel free to put it in the comments. But overall, just wanted to, you know what, I told you I'd give you a loom. I'll give this on wrist real quick too. This is running a little bit longer than I would like, but real quick. So this is the older model. And again, these are the 43s. Once I get some more of the 41s, I definitely will put them on. That's more my size preference. But 6 3/4 inch wrist. This is the older model. And the newer one. Strap obviously needs broken in a little bit, but. And again, to me, the sub-dials are just more legible. And I will hit the lights real quick. So again, the old one on my left and the new Navitimer on my right, and you can see the 3 and the 9 loom is missing on the old one. So again, I do like that you have loom for all your positions or all your hour indices on the new one. So guys, if there's anything I can do for you, obviously as soon as I get new models in from Watches and Wonders, I will be posting videos as soon as I get my hands on anything. Some of the Grand Seiko releases are not going to be out until later in the year, so I won't see those for a little bit. But as always, if there's anything I can do for you, please email me, brad@brentlmiller.com. Happy to help out, and I'll see everyone in the next video.